The outlaw archetype is deeply embedded in Bitcoin's history and culture. From Bitcoin's early adoption on the Silk Road to the defiant actions of pioneers like Charlie Shrem and Arthur Hayes, Bitcoiners have consistently pushed boundaries, choosing innovation even when it meant flirting with illegality. The outlaw is not a rebel without a cause, but a necessary figure in the fight against the oppressive and corrupt systems of the fiat world. To be a Bitcoiner is to embrace this role, understanding that the path to true freedom often runs counter to the laws it stands. To embrace the outlaw archetype is to acknowledge that Bitcoin will continue to challenge legal systems worldwide. This isn't rebellion for rebellion's sake. It's about understanding that the law, as it currently stands, is intertwined with the fiat system. Laws are often designed to maintain the status quo, protecting the interests of those who benefit from the existing financial order. Bitcoin, by nature, disrupts this order, offering an alternative that is decentralized, transparent, and free from the manipulations of central banks and governments. As Bitcoiners, we must recognize that our actions may be viewed as subversive by those invested in the old system. Simply using Bitcoin, opting out of fiat, can be seen as a threat. But this isn't a call to unnecessary lawlessness. It's an acknowledgement that being a Bitcoiner inherently places us at odds with a system that seeks to control and suppress financial freedom. In the fiat world, being labeled an outlaw is meant to invoke fear and compliance. But in the Bitcoin world, it's a badge of honor. It signifies that you are willing to challenge a corrupt system and refuse to live under the constraints imposed by those who control wealth and power. The outlaw archetype encourages Bitcoiners to embrace this identity, seeing themselves as part of a long tradition of rebels fighting for freedom, justice, and a better world. This archetype reminds us that the struggle for financial freedom comes with risks. The legal battles fought by early Bitcoiners and the risks taken by those operating in the gray areas of the law are part of the price paid for true sovereignty. Being an outlaw in the fiat world means being prepared to face challenges, stand firm against legal persecution, and continue pushing forward regardless. Today, the outlaw archetype is as relevant as ever. Governments and financial institutions seek to regulate, control, and even outlaw cryptocurrencies. Whether through idiotic KYC AML regulations, attempts to ban or heavily tax Bitcoin transactions, or the rise of centralized digital currencies that strip away Bitcoin's freedoms, the fiat system constantly tries to rein in Bitcoin's disruptive power. Bitcoiners must be prepared to live in defiance of these efforts. Simply enjoying and using Bitcoin is enough to cross the fiat line and be an outlaw. So crossing the line must be done. This doesn't mean breaking the law recklessly, but understanding that the legal landscape is a battlefield. The fight for financial freedom is ongoing, and the outlaw archetype calls on us to resist fiat encroachments and continue advocating for a world where individuals control their wealth without interference. In the fiat apocalypse, as old systems crumble and new ones rise, the outlaw archetype will be more important than ever. Bitcoiners must stand firm, resist the attempts of the fiat system to co-opt and control, and push forward in the fight for a free and sovereign future. The outlaw is not just a rebel, they are a pioneer, a protector of freedom, and a symbol of Bitcoin's unyielding spirit.